Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 101 of Two Left Thumbs. Look at that, rhyming today. Your weekly source of news and updates for games. In this week's episode, we'll be chatting about the Game Awards announcements and winners, as well as some first impressions on Cyberpunk and a little bit of a chat like that. Mostly it's going to be me ranting with Static sitting there going, I told you so. We also have all the best weekly deals on a range of publishers across all gaming platforms. Remember, if listening now, don't forget to share the podcast around, tell your mates, tell your mum. She's already listening to me, so that's fine, but get us out there, help us grow, always helps. Joining me today, also, by the way, hi, I'm Def Puppiez. Joining me, it's Static Guys. How you doing, man? Great stuff tonight, yeah.
You've done good. You've done well.
I've done good.
Yeah, you've absolutely outdone yourself.
What I've suffered through tonight to get here, it explains everything. How are you, man? What's been going on?
Good. Actually, there's been a lot going on, but nothing to do with gaming on my end. So it's probably going to be very one-sided tonight. I have strong opinions on one of the winners, and that's about it. The rest I really don't care about. So it should be interesting.
Oh, good. It's going to be me ranting. It's what everyone's here for, right?
Until that one point where it's me ranting.
Exactly. So, yeah. It's a rant episode today, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back and enjoy the rage, I guess. So, yes. Yeah. So you haven't been up to much this week. I remember you telling me that all your PlayStation is on this week is pop on some YouTube and
it's played YouTube. That's it.
The old Netflix machine.
That's it. I've spent a lot of IRL time doing IRL things with real cars and not pixel ones, which has been fun. Actually went out to a big drift event the weekend just gone. I got a lot of stuff done for the podcast, or my other podcasts, obviously, and got to meet a whole bunch of really cool drivers, drifters. Go for rides in cars and help change tires and do all sorts of fun stuff. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I saw some photos of that up on Instagram. I was having a look before. It looks pretty fun. You have to do a few hot laps and shit.
It was really cool. It was really good, actually. I got to hang out in a dude's car while he blew third gear. Not so fun because I pretty much got out of the car and went, "Oh, have a really good day, man. I'll see you later." It's one of the worst feelings, just walking away going, well, you broke your car and I'm out of here, so bye.
Bye, thanks for breaking your car on me.
Yeah, so I said, look, man, there's not much I can do, but if you do need a set of hands or whatever, give me a call and I'll come back and help out wherever I can. So.
And he rode off into the sunset and we never saw him again.
Just walked away all Hollywood.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but that's been me, man.
Yeah, not much.
Nah.
Me this week, I've done a little bit. So I've played probably not quite enough games for the both of us, but enough to kind of talk about, I think. So we'll start with some incidentals. I'm still playing Valhalla.
That's really handy that you've done that because, I mean, being a gaming podcast, it probably helps that one of us played games.
Yeah, it assists the process a little bit, but we don't need to talk about games. We can just rant about them instead, right? With total unsubstantiated facts.
Stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned. So yeah, I've been still chipping away at Valhalla, which is gonna take me forever. So every week you're gonna hear me go, yeah, I've been playing Valhalla a little bit. I also started playing Spiderman Miles Morales today, actually.
Ooh, I'm keen to hear about that.
So it's really good. It is more of the original. It's not really a sequel. It's more of a larger DLC, like a full price DLC, which is kind of weird given how it's been promoted as this big PlayStation 5 thing, but I'm playing it on the PS4 and it's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of struck me as more of a DLC type of thing because obviously surely we can give away spoilers for the first Marvel Spider-Man game probably by now. I think
we'll be okay. Yeah.
If you haven't played it by now and this is a spoiler and you're upset about it, that's really unlucky because the game's been out for 2 years now. He sort of played a big part in the end of that game.
Yeah,
not even really played a big part, but he was more prominent.
It was a big focus in the last bit. They were obviously setting up what was happening in this game.
Yeah. So anything to do with him kind of just seemed like it'd be DLC.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought originally, and maybe they've just like, but this got kind of too big to kind of, we can't really have this as a DLC. We can sell it as a smaller game. I don't know, but it's the way it's worked out. But for those who are playing it, or want to play it, and we're waiting for the PlayStation 5 version, the PS4 version is just as gorgeous. I mean, sure, it doesn't have the ray tracing and a few other tricks up the sleeve, but the base game is still fantastic. Very short though. I think my kids have all finished it now. They beat it in about 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
Ow.
Yeah, so it's a very short campaign. Like, they still have all the collectible stuff to do, but they're burnt through the campaign. They loved the first one. My middle child just finished the first one like the other week.
Is it the same map?
No, so this is in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Not New York as such, but the start of the game so far, from what I've played, the first hour or so, right? And it's really cool. Like, the opening mission is really fucking cool. So I don't know if you remember the last one of our biggest kind of complaints was there wasn't enough like big kind of set pieces.
Yep.
Oh boy, did they start off with one.
Good.
You join up with Peter Parker to escort a prisoner transfer, cleaning up the last of the prisoners from the end of last game that escaped the raft.
Yep.
And as classic superhero stories go, it all goes absolutely awry. And the next thing you know, you teamed up with Spiderman, going through the streets of New York while chasing down Rhino.
Yeah,
and
right. Okay.
So you like it kind of does this really cool thing where you kind of swap between fighting like a small group of guys while you have Spider-Man rummaging through, riding on the back of Rhino through the scene, and then you go to another part where you have to control him through a shopping center and like dodge civilians and shit. It is so fucking cool.
You have to drive Rhino.
You have to drive Rhino, and it is like so cool. Well done. So I'm really hoping I get to see more kind of boss battles like that. It was very on rails, but it was still. Yeah, it was really, really nice spectacle piece to kind of open up the game, which I thought was really, really good. But yeah, and then the next few missions after that are kind of getting a handle on the story and Miles and his family, because he's just kind of discovered his powers and kind of coming to grips with that and balancing the superhero life, as well as trying to support his mom and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep playing it. I'll probably have it finished by next week, so I can give you a full report. But it's good. I like it, and yeah, like I said, if you're waiting for the PS4 version, like PS5 version, you're holding on a PS4, it's perfectly fine on the PS4. I'd honestly just get that.
When you get it on PS4, do you also get like the free PS5 upgrade, or is that something you need to pay extra for? What's the story there? Do you know?
I think it's free. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really looked into it because I'm not really looking at getting a PS5 anytime soon, or any of the next gen consoles. So it was nothing I looked at, but I have a feeling there is an upgrade for it, or you can put the PS4 disc in the PS5, and then you do like a digital upgrade or something like that.
Yeah, I
think. Don't take my word on for that. I know there was some fuzziness on that for me anyway, on how that all worked, but really solid. There we go, folks.
That's the first piece of speaking out of school. Next.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm really good at that. So next one, again, I only played an hour or so, but Cyberpunk. Oh boy, that game is so fucking buggy.
Yeah?
Yeah, like terrible. Like, I haven't seen a lot. I've only played an hour, so I've basically done the tutorial and the first mission, right, to get me into Act 1. And I'm watching your little smug little look there. We'll get to that. But so I've only encountered a couple of bugs myself. Nothing major. Mostly visual glitches, but it still kind of really breaks the immersion, because Night City does look fantastic, and the whole world and everything is really, really good. It's just there's so many bugs that are just breaking that immersion. Like I've seen characters just T-posing. It's very Fallout 76 in the way like the visual bugs are. Yeah. Another favorite one is I walked up to an NPC who I just saw like standing straight. I was kind of investigating everything because you have options to talk to different NPCs and stuff. I'm like, I'll go chat to this guy. I couldn't talk to him, but he was on the phone and he moved his hand with his phone in it, but his phone was still next to his ear. And then he did that again, and then he had 3 phones. And then he had 4 phones. I was like, okay, no, I need to go away before something breaks.
That's phoneception.
Phoneception, man. I don't know how many conversations that guy was having, but must have been some riveting conversations to be having them all at once. Another one I had was after the first mission. So this is the first mission that they kind of showed off with the gameplay, where you go into the building to pull that chick out of the bathtub to rescue her.
Yep.
And you get to the end of the scene. It's all very dramatic, you know. You're like, she's pretty fucked up, and like, is she gonna be okay? We get to the medical thing, and you back away from the medical team who are like pointing guns at you and shit. And all right, so you turn around, and Jackie, the NPC that is with you, walks through a locker. All right.
Yep.
And then the locker decides, oh wait, you shouldn't be here, and so the locker just starts flipping out and rumbling all over the place, and then just kind of flew across the room. And then Jackie just like walked straight through it like nothing happened. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, it's a good game, but I would genuinely hate to see what this game looked like a year ago when they initially delayed it, because if the PlayStation and the original PlayStation and the original Xbox versions are anything to go off, it might not have been great, because they literally look like PS2 games.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen the images on Twitter, but I've seen quite a bit go around, and it's like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Like, my care factor for this game is less than 0. It's in the negatives.
Yeah, I know you were never really a fan of this one. You also called it would be like the biggest flop of this year. You may be close, man.
My call was it'll be the biggest flop since Anthem.
I mean, you're not far off. Hopefully, maybe. Oh no, not hopefully. That's a terrible thing to say, right? terrible thing to say.
I'm hoping so, because then I'm right.
Yeah,
I'd love to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want it to be a good game, but I don't know. I can't care about it.
It's at the point now where CD Projekt Red have come out and go, look, guys, we fucked up. We're sorry. They're offering refunds for anyone that wants them, like, openly. Like, this is how you do them if you want the refund. But we have patches planned for this week, and then. There's like a 2-week break for holidays, and they're back implementing a new patch in early January, I think. So for anyone who is out there and is looking to buy this game, I'd wait like maybe 3 months, maybe. Like, if you're desperate to play it and you don't mind visual glitches and dumb shit, whatever, go for it. But if you want a better Cyberpunk experience, this ain't it right now. I would be waiting.
Yeah, look, if I'm paying full price for a game that's been delayed over a year, I want like the best game ever.
You know what I mean? It's not in any good shape. Like, this is in like alpha phase kind of stability right now. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've heard of people getting like game breaking bugs as well. I haven't seen any of that myself, but it looks pretty rough out there for a game that was spending a year getting polished.
Yeah, what are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PC.
Okay.
So I'm running high graphics. Again, no major issues, few visual glitches so far, but everything else runs fine. The game's been running fine for me, just aside from the visual stuff so far. I'm planning on playing some more tonight after the cast. I'm getting a few more hours in, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's not looking good so far at all.
Well,
so yeah, go play Miles Morales. It's much better. It doesn't break.
go play Death Stranding.
I mean,
that was my call. If you remember back.
Speaking of Death Stranding, should we get into some deals?
Sure.
All right, so
Oh, I see what you did there.
I see what I did there. You guys will get the payoff in a moment. So over on PlayStation this week, for PlayStation Plus this month, we have a Worms Rumble, Just Cause 4, and Rocket Arena. Over for PSN deals this week, we have Death Stranding for $25. Sadik, you've played it. Talk to me.
Get onto that. If you've been waiting to play that game, now that is your invitation to go and play it. That is a lot of game for $25. I won't say you won't be disappointed because it's an individual experience. What I will say is whether you love it or hate it, I believe it's a game that every gamer has to experience, and that is a good price to do it at.
Yeah. Words from the man himself. Worth getting. Look into it. Also, apparently, if you're looking for a PC, it's not on sale, but the port for that is fantastic as well. They did a really good job.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of doing a good job on Horizon Zero Dawn,
which has got me really, really intrigued because they did such a good job on the port of that, and it's using the same game engine.
I know, right? That's why I was so annoyed. Because I was like, because you've been telling me to play Horizon Zero Dawn since you played it. Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I was like, I had it on PlayStation and then it got announced for PC. And I'm like, you know what? I'll wait for PC, updated, blah, blah, blah. It'll be really nice. It'll be easier for me to stream and stuff as well because, you know, it's straight on PC instead of fucking around with capture cards and shit. So I did that. And I used, I traded in my PS4 copy for something else.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and now I hate Horizon Zero Dawn because I can't finish the game because it's performing terribly, and it makes me very sad.
It makes me very sad.
Oh, it's just so stuttery and gross, and it's like just kind of shudders like the whole screen every time you do anything. It's like, oh god, it's like a frame drop, but the frames aren't dropping. It's nasty.
Oh, that's terrible news.
Yeah, it is. Over on Xbox side of things this week, we have Games with Gold, which is The Raven Remastered, Saints Row Get Out of Hell, and Swim Sanity. Deals with Gold this week. Watch Dogs 2 Gold Edition. This is the Statics played these games hit list, guys.
It is.
It is.
Oh, actually, I think that's where it ends, to be honest. But yeah.
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 Over on this,
I've said enough about what. Yeah, you're right. I've said enough about Watch Dogs 2. Continue.
Yeah. Over on Switch this week, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is a fantastic little RPG. I've heard nothing. I haven't played myself, but heard nothing but good things. Over on the Epic Store this week, we have Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition. If Dan were here, he would be raving. He loves this game. That's it. That's deals for this week. Should we talk about the Game Awards? Should we dare?
Yeah.
All right. So, I think how we'll run this is because there's going to be a substantial amount of upsetness about this. We'll go through the winners of each award first. Let's rattle through them. And then we have a few announcements. The games have been announced there, and then we'll kind of go into a kind of thoughts section afterwards, because then we can continue on from there, because this is all we've got this week. This is where most of the news kind of happened, and I've been really busy. You know, Christmas and hospitality are not fun. So let's get into the awards. We're going to start with Best Sports Racing Game went to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which is the remake. Best Sim/Strategy Game was Microsoft Flight Simulator. Best Family Game was Animal Crossing New Horizons. Best Fighting Game was Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Best RPG went to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Best Action Adventure went to Last of Us Part 2. Best Action Game went to Hades. Innovation in Accessibility went to Last of Us Part 2. Best VR AR Game went to Half-Life Alyx. Best Community Support went to Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Best Mobile Game was Among Us. There's some notes there from Static. We'll get back to that. Best debut indie game was Phasmophobia. Best indie game was Hades. Best ongoing game was No Man's Sky. Games for Impact was Don't Tell Me Why. Best performance was Laura Bailey playing Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. Best audio design, Last of Us Part 2. Best score and music, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Best art direction, Ghost of Tsushima. Best narrative, Last of Us 2. Most anticipated game, Elden Ring. Best game direction, Last of Us Part 2. And then, if you hadn't figured out the pattern by now, Game of the Year went to Last of Us Part 2. So, Sadik, you want to talk to me about your little notes there?
Again, like I raised it last time. Little notes there on obviously mobile game of the year, Among Us. What?
Yeah.
What is actually going on there? How can a game that's 4 years old win game of the year in anything?
Yeah. I mean, unless it is best ongoing support, that is like realistically.
That's not what it is, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like best ongoing support and maybe community support and accessibility are probably the three you probably pull an older game from if they've done something new recently, right?
Maybe, but they haven't done anything new. It's still the same game.
It's the same that like they. I mean, it's a comeback story. I'll give them that. They came back from about to pull the plug of the game and maybe doing a sequel. Comeback of the year,
absolutely. I'll take it.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm not sure. It doesn't feel right there.
I have actually I have thoughts on another couple. So
yeah, let's go.
We'll go into them. There is debut indie game, Phasmophobia, right? Mm-hmm. Which I've seen. I haven't played, but I've seen it. It looks like an amazing game. But then there's also indie game. What's the difference?
So I don't know. Actually.
We're talking of the year, right? Game of the year.
Yeah.
Debut
right.
indie game or indie game. What's the difference? Where's the defining factor there?
I can't see it. Oh no! What are we?
Where's the defining factor there?
Yeah, like. Oh no.
Because they would have both debuted this year, correct?
Technically, yes. What the shit game awards?
Okay.
I mean, then again, we've got Among Us with best mobile game from 4 years ago. So
and then scroll on up. We'll go to most anticipated game. Elden Ring. Do you think that's correct?
I mean, apparently,
because all we've heard,
I can't remember how,
and all that's been hyped up for the last 5 fucking years has definitely not been Elden Ring, has it?
No.
It's been Cyberpunk, right?
It has been, but see,
I don't know,
this brings up another thing, right? Because
I'm confused.
Cyberpunk technically should have released like a year ago, and it releases outside of the window now to be nominated for Game Awards, right?
Yes.
Which means it could be technically up for most anticipated game
next year.
Let me pull up the old notes.
I don't know.
No, I want to have a look at this. We're doing it live. I want to see what the nominees were because I can't remember. Just because it may have been there. Okay, so it's not there at all.
Okay.
So most anticipated game nominees.
All right, I'll take it.
Were Elden Ring, Halo Infinite, which got delayed till next year, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War sequel, Resident Evil Village, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. So technically Cyberpunk could have been there, but it's not, which is weird.
Yeah, because it was delayed until outside of the time.
But then it would have still been an anticipated game, right?
In which case, so did Halo, right?
Yeah, Halo did the exact same thing. They pushed Halo back a year.
I'm confused, folks. I don't
Given the amount of hype that Cyberpunk had behind it, which was phenomenal, and we all knew it would like never actually live up to said hype. Interesting. Very interesting.
So yeah, that was my take. Most things, I guess, for the most part, I kind of agree with them. Fighting game, Mortal Kombat 11, wasn't that like 2019?
That said Ultimate, that could have been a new edition. That's how they squeezed that in.
Maybe it was very early 2020. In
it
which
could have
case,
been. This year's been a fucking...
Yeah, it's been a blur. I'll let that one go. But yeah, that's kind of where I sit. Most of the stuff, I guess I agree with, apart from what I've just brought up. The indie game thing, I don't really not agree with. I don't know Hades. I haven't seen Hades, but from what I understand, it's a pretty wicked game. Phasmophobia is actually a really cool game. Again, I've only seen it streamed, but it's
I know quite a people that play it regularly. They fucking love it.
Yeah. Awesome sort of premise for a game.
That was developed by one guy too.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's very small. He just kind of put it out there and it just kind of took off, and he's like, oh shit, hang on.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't understand the differentiation there between indie game and debut indie game, considering it's in the last 12 months.
12 months, yeah. No, I'm seeing that now and it's hurting me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where my OCDness sort of kicked in there. But
yeah, that's fair.
Apart from that, I'm neither here nor there with everything else.
Yeah, the only one that kind of pulled me up was Last of Us getting Best Action Adventure.
Yeah, okay.
I would have seen. I think I would have seen. I thought I would have seen Ghost of Tsushima get that one.
Yeah.
But I haven't played Last of Us 2 either. But that's just from what I've seen and heard about the game itself. I like Game of the Year, sure, that's fine, good on them. But yeah, Best Action Adventure I thought would have gone to Ghost of Tsushima because it was fucking fantastic action adventure game.
Can you remember back to all the things that was nominated for? Because what are we seeing? It actually only took art direction. Is that right?
It only took art direction. It was up for Game of the Year, art direction, action adventure. I don't think a narrative. I think that was it for memory. Again, I'd have to go back, but that page has now been closed forever.
That's now. I don't know because I don't care about The Last of Us at all.
No, I don't
have the want to go and play through it, especially considering I was told the controls are still as clunky as the first one.
Yeah, and I think that's what pulled me up about the action adventure thing. A good action adventure you'd have good controls, and if it's the same controls from like the first game, it's like, well, that's not really improving enough to, kind of qualify for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. Anyway,
what is innovation in accessibility? Exactly.
I can look it up exactly.
Yeah, do we know exactly what that means? Maybe that's why the controls are still just as clunky.
Because it's accessible to people that played games fucking 6 years ago.
That's right.
Oh, so this is a new award. So this award will recognize developers that are pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
Okay.
I don't remember anything like that being mentioned about Last of Us at all.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
I'd be interested to see how that is
how that worked. Yeah. So if you guys are out there and you've played Last of Us 2, reach out, let us know what it did, because I'd be curious to see what kind of innovations it made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll obviously research it myself, but if you guys have your own opinions, I'd love to hear them. On the Twitter at @left_pod, you can find us there. Cheeky plug. Anyway, let's move on to
the podcast again.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's move on to some of the announcements that were throughout the Game Awards, and one would argue predominantly took up most of the Game Awards. I've got a few of the highlights here. So we had Super Smash Bros. Had an announcement. They have a new fighter in Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. Mass Effect dropped a teaser from BioWare. Something coming along the lines of there. Not much, just a quick teaser trailer.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Hopefully it's better than Andromeda. Although people have gone back and played it and said it wasn't that bad. It was just terrible. Maybe that's Cyberpunk in a few years. Animations were fucked, but the game was okay, you know.
Yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to Series X. It's been a PC exclusive for quite a number, or since it was launched. So it's coming to consoles soonish. It's a big fucking game. My PC couldn't even run it. We've got Back for Blood, which is from the Left 4 Dead creators. Turtle Rock. It's very much alongside the same veins of Left 4 Dead, just with a new title. Zombie waves, because zombies are great, right? We all love zombies still.
Do we? We're still zombie mad?
Apparently. I guess so.
We
got gameplay trailers for that, which was it's okay. It's cool. Arc 2 got announced, after Arc went so well. But now it's going to be starring Vin Diesel.
Did he come out and make a really awkward announcement?
No, I didn't get this far.
The last video game
we'll get to this later, but I didn't get this far. So
Okay.
far, I'm just reading the news here because I was watching this just before we were going to cast, and I had to turn it off. I was like, I knew you were waiting. I had like 5 minutes to get shit together because I'm super organized. But I'll probably go back and watch the rest of it at some point. But I'm not in a huge rush. So Vin Diesel is now starring in Arc 2. There is also going to be an animated series coming alongside that, which is cool, I guess. I have a particular unlikedness for Vin Diesel, personally. Not a huge fan of his stuff.
I briefly saw part of the animation, and I'm going to put it up there. Like it's very close, very similar to the animation if you think back to The Rock in Scorpion King.
Right, okay.
I'm going to put the animation very close to that.
Right. I mean, that's okay.
How long since you've seen that movie?
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Don't do yourself a favor. Don't go back and watch it. It's really not.
Don't do it. I mean, Ark's had a pretty stable community for a while, so it's good to see them getting a sequel and then some other shit there, which might bring some more popularity to the game even more, which is great. So hopefully it doesn't suck. Fingers crossed for you guys. We also got an official teaser for the new Dragon Age game. The short kind of Dragon Age coming, blah 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 blah. So BioWare's considering. They've had a lot going on lately. It's interesting to see them working on 2 games.
So, and no word inside about the last
Anthem
game?
2.0. Yeah, so they're working on Anthem 2.0. They're working on Mass Effect and fucking Dragon Age. Okay, and they've had a heap of people leave the studio again. Like recently, there's been quite a few people leave. I think 3 or 4 large names have left.
I see failure on the horizon.
I don't want them to, because I mean Dragon Age and Mass Effect before Andromeda were fantastic games. I love Dragon Age. It was fantastic, especially Inquisition. I don't want to see it suck, but it's not looking good. Hey,
I can't see.
They just seem very thinly stretched right now.
Yeah,
especially So, I mean, we might not get them for years to come, but the announcements are out there. See what happens, I guess.
Best of luck.
Yeah, the final announcement I kind of pulled out of here was probably the highlight for me so far, and we got to see what the Initiative Xbox new development team, their kind of star-studded team of developers, have been putting together, and they're working on Perfect Dark.
Right.
And as I said, showed it off like a short teaser trailer. It's still in early development, but they've started working on it, and it looked really fucking cool. Again, it was a cinematic trailer we all know how those go in the gaming industry. It's never great. I mean, they look good, but there's nothing else behind it. But I love Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark Zero was a bit but the first one I used to play for fucking hours. It was like one of my jam games for quite a long time. So I'm excited to see that come back and be really fucking cool. Hopefully,
Mad.
I mean, with the people working on it, let's hope it is. And that's pretty well it from the Game Awards, except one very small thing: how it was structured. So, Static.
Oh no.
Let's talk award ceremonies, right?
Yeah.
You go to an award ceremony, or you're watching an award ceremony. So let's look some of the bigger kind of things aside from the main ones, right? Best action adventure game, pretty big title.
Yep.
You would assume, yeah. Best music and score, fairly large award. You know, it's a very prestigious award, especially for the video games industry, right?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. They just glossed over these.
No. It's worse than that. It is far fucking worse.
No.
So, those two awards. Oh wait, I should cover something else first. So, how the awards ceremony is generally structured. There's a pre-show, where it's a bit of a warm-up, gets people the time to get in. You know, they do like their world premieres and trailer announcements, all their advertising, and then you get to the meat, which is the main show, which is the awards. Where would you put some of those awards, Static?
I'd put them up there pretty highly, to be honest.
Pretty high, like you put them in the main show, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They put them in the pre-show.
No, they didn't fucking do that at all. So, best music and score was in the first minute 30 of the fucking pre-show.
The only way that could be any worse is if it was in there, but it wasn't even actually mentioned. It was just like a quick screen grab where it flashed up on the screen and just had it in text and didn't actually say it.
No, it had that, and then they read it out. Like the announcer read it out, and that was it. And they had like an interview with the guy that won, briefly for like 2 seconds. So yeah, I'm the very acceptance speech. I mean, things were difficult this year because the Game Awards, they normally have like the big stage presentation. They have people come up and accept the awards. They didn't have that this year because COVID and all that shit. But they had people in Zoom calls, right? And it was like, oh, that was the first one. That was the first award off the thing in the fucking pre-show. Best action adventure game was about 3 minutes later. So people are still rocking up to this shit, like. And if I
some of the biggest awards are gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was listening to Direct's podcast, Controls and Coffee. Shout out to them. They're fantastic podcast. You should go and listen to them as well if you love gaming news. That is a little more informative than what I do here. And I wouldn't have known to look for the pre-show if I hadn't have heard them talking about the Game Awards first. Because I would have just, skip all the shit, go to the main awards, and I would have been very fucking confused.
No, I remember something similar last year where it wasn't so much like really big awards, but it was still awards that you'd be keen to see. Were announced in the pre-show. But then even in the Game Awards, I think we made mention of it in the big one that we had last year with the 4 of us, they still had it wasn't even a mention. It was just actually, like I said, like a flash up on the screen. And it was quite a large, like a prestigious award, but it was just like, this is the award and this is who won it. And it wasn't even mentioned. Like it wasn't, and that was in the main show at least. But
that was happening still, but it was in the pre-show. And it was just, and like, so they did, so they announced 10 awards in the pre-show.
Yep.
A lot of those were to do with the kind of esports stuff. So it was best coach, best player, best team.
That's where that stuff should be.
Which is still not at the same. That was kind of at the end of the pre-show, right? That was kind of where that was. But it was just so fucking weird to see 2 really big awards just kind of blurted out in the first 5 minutes. These are the nominees. Here's the winner. Congratulations.
Mad.
Also in the pre-show was best ongoing game.
Right.
There was score and music, and community support was another one that was in the pre-show as well, from memory.
Yep.
But I mean, that's like half the awards done in the pre-show. Like, we've had a jam-packed pre-show. Like, we can't get to wait to the real. Like, I believe a quote was, "We can't when we get to the official award ceremony." I'm like, wait, so you just invalidated all those fucking awards by saying, "Oh, yeah, when we get to the official game awards,
they're not even official awards.
They're not even official awards now. They're just fucking." Oh my god, it was just I was shocked. I'm like, what the actual fuck? And I was sitting there watching my wife, and she's not interested in the game awards at all. Like, she plays games, but all this kind of shit doesn't. She's whatever.
Yeah,
and she was sitting there because I was like, I need to watch this for the cast. Let's have some drinks and we'll throw this up on the TV and watch it, you know. And she's like, wait, so this is the pre-show, right? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, they've given out 8 awards already. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what the fuck is this? So for someone that is totally non-gamer, well, not non-gamer, but like very casual gamer, to go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
they're fucked up. It's not good.
Wow.
It's
I just had, actually, as you were mentioning ongoing game, I remembered it was something that I completely wasn't expecting. Can you remember? It was the winner was No Man's Sky. What else was that going up against? Can you remember that? Have you got that with you? Or?
I can. I believe,
because I believe that would have been going up against the likes of like Destiny and
Destiny, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. So the usual roster of games that are there. So they're fucking good on them. It was really funny watching this one too.
I'd like to see how that's like the numbers, like or how that's quantified, I guess, because I imagine like some of those games would be pulling much bigger numbers than No Man's Sky. I know they've done a lot to turn the game around. And I think
it's less about the numbers and more about the ongoing support that the developers is giving the community. Yeah. So it's very kind of it's kind of like in the same family as like best community support, where it's like these guys have put in the best effort to continue on with their game and carried on through the years, you know. And they've done a fantastic job. It's really funny because they have when they announced this one, because they had all the nominees up on a Zoom call behind them on the screen.
Yep.
And the guy that was accepting the award for No Man's Sky was midway through sculling a beer when they announced it. And it's just like zoom to him, he has a beer in his hand, he's like, oh shit. It was so fucking good.
You see your mouth, oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I was totally not expecting this.
He's just like ready to end. Cool.
Yep, just bye. But yeah, I just and here's like there was more awards from what I've seen so far. I mean, I know there's more awards I haven't seen being presented yet in the pre-show, right? And we get to the main show and it's all game premieres. Nothing to do with the games that all the awards. It was just advertising, new game announcement, all these new announcements. Like all but maybe 2 of those I saw in like the first 10-15 minutes of the main show.
Yeah.
And I know what they wanted to do with the Game Awards, and this just doesn't feel like it. Like they keep talking about celebrating games and the achievements they've had this year, but all they're doing is advertising new ones. Yeah. It feels like this is the new E3 with less conferences. And
just probably a better way to do E3, to be honest. But
yeah, it probably is. And maybe they should retool it and maybe have an award section in the pre-show where they can knock out all the awards at once and go, oh, here guys, by the way, there's a new console coming out, because they did a console announcement last year too, didn't they? I think we covered that last year. That was it the series? I think it was the Xbox. They had like the premiere of the actual box.
Was that when
itself.
They gave it an official? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was like an official like teaser for the actual console itself, because we'd only heard kind of rumors and a few bits and bobs here. We hadn't actually seen the console, and this is where kind of Microsoft went, right, here's the console.
Here's our fridge. Yeah.
And here's a. Did you know they actually made life-size fridges and sent them to people, like Xbox fridges?
That's amazing.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg got one. Awesome. It was like mostly celebrities, but Snoop Dogg got one. He like had it full of like gin and juice and shit. It was great. There was like awesome. A giant ass Xbox cake in there. I really want a mini fridge of it though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I want a mini like Xbox fridge to Xbox. listening.
Just like a 6-pack fridge.
Yeah. Just a little 6-pack fridge. I can sit up here on my little shelf and just reach back, grab myself a beer, and as long as I can fit a 6-pack in there, I'm happy. You know.
Yeah.
Be good. I like it.
Well, is there a light at the end of this, or
no? There's no light.
There's not. You guys get to be cranky for the next fortnight. There you go.
Exactly. So yeah, it was the Game Awards is a total shit show. It's not even an awards ceremony anymore. It's a fucking giant advertising platform. Thank you very much, gaming industry. We fucking love you for that. Well, we can just enjoy games. Hey, like,
yeah.
I mean, I know 2020 has been a really shit year, but it has exposed so much scum and bullshit and literal fucking Bond villain crap that people pull in like game developers, and just like fucking ride with like exposing sexual harassment and fucking crunch and just fucking racism and all kinds of shit throughout the game industry, which I mean, it exists everywhere and should be stopped. The games industry has been very much in the spotlight, well, for me anyway, of how much fucking shit has been going on. And I just want to fucking enjoy games, and I can't now because I feel bad. Like fucking, trying to enjoy Valhalla, and I'm like, it's a good game, but Ubisoft is like filled with fucking sexual harassment and fucking unfair treatment, and it's like, how do I enjoy this shit now? Makes it hard. Makes it really, really hard. Can we just? I mean, I don't want to go back to being ignorant, but fuck. Can we just sort this shit out so I can go back to enjoying games? Jesus. But that is all she wrote for this week, guys. Quick thing, I guess, and the podcast. If you haven't checked out the Twitter yet, which you should, because it's totally lit and stuff. So you should go check out the Twitter.
That's what the cool kids are saying anyway.
That's what the cool kids are saying. So for the next few weeks, I've found a way to make weekly episodes work. I'm going to have a few guests coming on. I'm going to give Static a break when he needs it so he can go spend some time with his family, because I don't get Christmas because the hospitality. Should be fun.
Oh, boo.
Boo, yeah. Static will still be joining me every couple of weeks if he wishes to, but if he wants to take a break, he can.
Okay, so you're having other guests the weeks that I'm not on. Is that what is happening?
Yeah, pretty well.
That's why I'm not allowed to know who the guests are. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been teasing Steve. So I need to know who the guests are. Like, you're one of them. So
yeah. makes sense now. I don't need to know.
Makes sense. It's all good. Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, if we're gonna have guests on, I need to be sort of preparing stuff. And no, I don't. So
yeah, you're good. I got you. It's all right.
Just keep rocking up like Hollywood. Sweet.
Exactly. You do you, and I do me. It's all good. We'll be running weekly episodes throughout the Christmas period. So keep an eye out for them. Guests. I've got some other things I'm working on as well, which should be fun. And then hopefully I can pull my shit together and continue doing weekly episodes after that. Hopefully, I don't blow my wad on the first 5 weeks of the year. Be great. So
with that mental image, we're out of here. So
we're out of here. Bye, Static. Where can they find you?
Gutter podcast. Look at that through all the things with the Spotify and the Google Podcasts and the Apple Podcasts and wherever you find cool podcasts. We talk about cars and things and talk with people about cars and things who know heaps more stuff than I do, which is really good. Yeah, go listen.
That event that you were at this week, did you end up doing any live casting from there? I know you were planning on it.
Yes.
Or looking at doing it, yes?
Yeah.
So that next episode coming up or just released?
That will be out next week.
There you go.
And then actually that's all I'm saying about that.
Yep.
If you're into car things, go and have a listen. We got a cool little surprise coming up. Yeah, that's that.
Adept Puppies. If you've heard this a million times, you'll hear it again. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at adept_puppies with a fucking Z. If you'd like to get in touch, I should really change my handle to with a fucking Z if Twitter will let me. We're gonna fit that into the character space.
Maybe.
I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you'd like to get in contact with the podcast directly, you can catch us on Twitter at left_pod. You can also find us on YouTube, where the video version will go up a few days after posting the audio version. Just search for Two Left Thumbs podcast. Those episodes every Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, depending on how long it takes me to edit and fix things, because naturally things always break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, putting up with our shit and our rants. Have a fantastic week. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
See you, mate.